What's up guys, I'm Random Frank P, and today we have another keyboard build for you guys, but we're going to be customizing and updating my Grid 600 keyboard. If you remember, over the summer I built that up, and it was one of my favorite builds that I've done. Today, we're going to be completely changing that up from top to bottom, inside and out. New switches, new module, new keycaps, new cable, new plate. Very, very different, as you can see, but I kind of like it. So if you haven't checked out the original build video from the summer, I highly suggest doing that. But before I tore it down, I got some clips of it real quick so you could see how it used to look. We had that Green Peaks module, and it looked really nice with the GMK Metropolis keycaps, and I had lubed Gateron ink switches, a very smooth linear switch. But one of the cool things about the Grid 600 keyboard is the fact that just changing that top module could give it a completely different look. So we'll do a rundown in this video showing you the new setup in my Grid 600 and also do a sound test because the two keyboards are polar opposites and that should be interesting. So first up, we just have those 6 screws on the back side of the keyboard which hold the module in place, and then from there we can completely swap everything out. And the only really thing I'm reusing from this is the actual chassis. We're pretty much just starting bare bones here. So once the old PCB and plate was out, it all just, stayed together. So for the new hardware from 1UP, I have their 60% hot swap PCB, and I go with hot swap again because with these customizable keyboards, it just makes it a lot easier to quickly switch out the switches, no pun intended, if I wanted to do that on the fly. It makes it real easy without having to, desolder and solder and stuff like that. And for the actual frame, I went with a 60% carbon fiber frame from KBD Fans. It's solid, but it's gonna give a bit of a give when typing. I'll be using some genuine Cherry screw-in stabilizers, and yes, they are clipped, lubed, and we are gonna be doing the Band-Aid mod, although like I've done in the past, I'm just using medical tape, does the same thing. That'll just give a more satisfying result to our stabilizers, so they're not as rattly. Now, one of the main differences to this build is gonna be the switches. Like I said, I used to have linears with those Gateron inks. Now we are going complete opposite, very clicky and tactile switches with the Novel Keys and Kailh Speed Navy thick clicks. These are not only really clicky, but they're loud. So in terms of how they're constructed, the switches have a thicker click bar on the inside, which is gonna result in that louder sound and feedback. And with speed included in the name, they have a total travel distance of 3.5 millimeters and a pre-travel of 2 millimeters. So they're gonna actuate at around 1.5 millimeters. So once you have the stabilizers on the PCB, the frame in place, and all our switches are attached, we can screw it down, and really all the building is pretty much done. That's what I really love about the custom Grid 600, is the fact that it just takes zero effort to modify it. We can then attach our new flash module, which you will see in more detail in a minute. But the whole inspiration around this build was GMK Dots. This custom keycap set actually started as, I believe, an April Fool's joke. Then it got so much traction and people loved it that it actually became real. And as you can see, it is just very, very different. Instead of characters and functions, we just have dots, colored dots, and it just looks really unique. You either love it or you hate it. Yes, it's not gonna be for everybody, but in terms of aesthetic, it really provides an interesting look to a keyboard. And I'll tell you right now, typing on this is not easy. I'm horrible with it, but again, that's not the point. It's about aesthetics. Welcome to the world of keyboards. So there's actually 2 underlying tie-ins here. The first thing is, with these navy keycaps on GMK Dots, I wanted them to kind of go along with the color of the switches, because those Speed Navy switches are also a dark navy. So again, while it's not about the appearance in that sense, I wanted those to match, but they also complement each other in the fact that when I see GMK Dots and those white dots on the actual keys, I think of ping pong balls. That's just what comes to my mind. And what better to represent that than a loud, thick click with the Speed Navy. So it all ties together perfectly, in my head at least. Then the last piece is a custom coiled cable from Space Cables. You already know what it is. And this is just a great accent piece. I told him that I was doing a GMK Dots build. He said, say no more fam. He sent it over and it matches great. You have the white cable with that black braid to hit on both the white dots and the black frame, and the colored heat shrink on the cable also hits on the colors of the modifiers. Mwah. So once it's powered on, you can see it come to life. And that top module, again the flash module, has this built-in RGB light strip. There are 2 buttons on the side in which you can control the lighting and all that stuff, and the built-in effects, because There is really no software to control it. It's all just done right here on this module. And there's probably like 10 effects built in, I'd say you could switch between, and also holding down on one of the buttons will change up the colors. If it's like a static effect or if it's just a one certain color, you can change that up pretty easily. But I just like the subtle RGB wave that goes through. At the same time, it's hitting on all those colors. It's bringing out those colored accents and the modifiers. And the funny thing is, this keyboard was actually one of the renders used to show off GMK dots. And that's when I first saw the Grid 600. That's when I was like, this keyboard looks awesome, what is it? And that's what made me originally pick up the Grid 600. And now, from a render to real life, I'm pumped. And now it's time for the sound test with the Speed Thick Clicks. And what I'm gonna do is layer sound tests back to back, because before I tore down my old Grid 600 build, I recorded a final sound test of the Gateron ink switches that I lubed. So you're gonna hear just total opposites, thick and clactile, smooth and linear. Back to back, here we go, you're welcome. So what do you think? I want to hear your thoughts down below. Do you prefer a tactile thick click, or do you like the smooth linears? I know for me personally, if I had to choose, I think I would go more the linear route. That's just what I prefer. But there is just something super satisfying about a super thick click. And these, I think you can put these right up there, the Speed Navies, I would say with the Box Jade switches, in terms of just audible feedback. Not only do these provide like a bump, because they're a heavier switch. I believe they are 70 grams, I could be off, but they're heavier and you feel that bump. And with the Box Jades, you hear that. It's a nice sharp click, this a louder, thick click. So comment down below, are you a linear fan or a tactile fan? But yeah, I just figured a nice update to the Grid 600, because since it is so modular, easy to customize, I figure once the GMK dots came in, I'd do a completely new build to not only accent them, but show off the flash module. So that'll wrap it up, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up to show your support. And don't forget, comment down below. Team linear, team tactile. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at RandomFrankP. And last, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you're all staying safe. Have a good day.